Okay, so the Stranger Things use of music actually has some real world precedence in music healing as medicine. They use music to activate people's brains when they have some kind. It's like people living in nursing homes, and they listen to their favorite songs. Their reliance on their favorite It's known to be that their favorite music will trigger their brain use it again when they're listening to their favorite songs. All of a sudden, they can be articulate and remember their lives and be fairly normal. And somehow and we know that music activates the cerebellum, which is the deep part of your brain that regulates your emotional energy as well as your body movements, and that's through the vagus nerve. And we know that the hippocampus is how your memories, and so that's connected to the deep part of brain. Also, um, to the deep part of brain. Also, um, and when you get that blissful feeling from music, that's the vagus nerve being activated when you get the chills. So then, Stranger Things uses the Kate Bush hit song "Running Up the Hill," which was a lot of fun because I heard that song in one original, and I wondered why it wasn't a more famous song. Um, and I didn't think that it was more famous in Europe because I didn't even really realize that she was an English singer. It's just like a friend of mine played it for me, and um, it was a really cool song. It's great to hear it, and people report getting the chills from the song in the show. I actually did a little paper on that where I quoted from the comments section that quoted from the comments section that the song Kate Bush has made $2 million off the song royalties from Stranger Things, and the song went to number one in the UK after 37 years. So that's the like world record for the longest time for a song to go number one in the charts. And what else? It's there's a music analysis of the song. What's really fascinating is on the word God, she sings a minor second dissonance. So she sings the word God um on a B flat chord has sustained second, which is a C. So you get that minor second C against the D with the B flat. So you're basically getting like a ninth chord essentially. And it gives it a real it gives it a real that's why that's this what the maker of the song, the person who analyzed it, he said that that note is the money maker because you have that dissonance and it creates a sense of longing and explain, but that's just that unexpected dissonance is what triggers the frisson or the chills in the song and creates kind of a sublime feeling to the song. And um of course the chromatic dissonance that you find like in jazz and blues music and gets you in the secret of music tuning and how the note music scale is actually derived from the number those that commutate. The perfect fifth creates a circle of fifths, but it's actually an infinite spiral of fifths. And when you get that infinite spiral of fifths, because of the non-commutativity, then it's like the future and the past lapping as time and frequency, and that's how music becomes this portal. Um, this was an idea I had in high school. I was 15 years old. I was taking music class in Minneapolis in the 80s, and it was a really big deal in Minneapolis in the 80s. And I noticed this logic error in the music theory, really simple logical error, and I kept it to myself. Then when I took quantum physics, um, I realized that the non-locality in quantum physics was the same logical secret. It's what they call the Dirac dance. So when you go like this with your hands, so you go that future and the past going on at the same time, called the 720 degrees spin of an electron, which has one half spin, or a proton that is one half spin. And so what physicists have realized is that when you combine relativity with quantum physics, it is made of light, and you can have a negative frequency of light that then changes the spin. Normally, you think of spin as one, but when you have negative frequency of light, it's actually a virtual photon. And so the virtual photon has a magnetic moment due to the change in the, and that's essentially storing the information as a quantum black hole, or what we would call the soul in the upside down. And this is a secret that was first realized by Andrei Puharich, who was a military mind control scientist. And um, there's going to be a new Netflix documentary released about Andrei Puharich this fall, and he was the one who tested the children for psychic powers. So Stranger Things is secretly based on Andrei Puharich, and I a book Puharich. Um, the director of the documentary had contacted me about my research, and he did a recent podcast interview, and he was discussing information that's found in my book. He didn't mention my book or anything, but um, it might be credited in the documentary out that's coming out in November. So there is definitely a to the strangers upside down. That is essentially that's what this non-commutativity thing is, because you can see like your hand goes upside down right there. that is the upside down world. And so in relativity, the four-dimensional space-time is not considered another dimension because it's based on the intrinsic curvature, which is essentially you're like stretching a membrane around a ball, and that changes the 90 degrees to be stretched out into a non-commutative invariance of the in the Riemannian geometry. Uh, so invariance is commutative uh, in terms of the momentum and of the light, and so there's no center to the light, and because there's no center of mass, the wavelength of the light then it has a non-commutative negative from the future. It's a time reversed signal, and that's how you get the upside down